Many thanks for being there. Let's now tell you that Moody's, a renowned US-based rating agency, has recently adjusted Nigeria's outlook from stable to positive, emphasizing the country's financial health and reform efforts led by President Bola Tinubu. The agency confirmed the country's CAA1 long-term foreign and local currency issuer ratings, considering the potential reversal of fiscal and external deterioration due to ongoing reform initiatives. However, Moodys highlighted persistent weaknesses, including Nigeria's vulnerable fiscal and external positions, intensified inflationary pressures, and uncertainties surrounding oil production, including external funding. They cautioned about the challenging economic and social conditions in Nigeria, characterized by poverty, social disparities, and growing unrest due to inflation, which could impede or reverse the reforms. To discuss this, we're being joined by Alesta Wilcox, Chartered Accountant and Public Affairs Analyst. Alesta, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
So what's your view on Moody's recent outlook adjustments for Nigeria?
Well, it shows one thing that we don't need to be despondent with respect to our country. There is ample room for improvement. And if the international rating agencies are seeing some positivities within the system and is trying to highlight these positivities, so we just need to be optimistic and expectant that the good days are here and they are coming as fast as they can come.
So what then do you think are the most significant factors that Moody's considered when it comes to upgrading Nigeria's economic status?
Well, the most important factors is some of the policy adjustment that has taken place. For instance, it's not today that every part of the world is talking about removal of oil subsidy. I think Nigeria is about the last country to have taken that line, because we are all afraid of the consequences and the repercussion of that action. But at least, as at the time the president has taken that action, we now see the fact that after a while we've all adjusted. Remember, as at June, July, August, even up to September, you can count the number of cars on the street because everybody seems to be up watching what is happening. But today, the traffics are all back, so we've adjusted to it, and it's a plus for the country. We're also looking at, we also see that we've always been told that our exchange rate is not appropriate, and so the president also took a good decision that, okay, while it is a hurting decision even to me, and I'm still very much haughty about it, but of course, it's one of the right ways to go in order to get maximum benefit with respect to income generation for the country. The problem we've been having is more of a revenue issue and not so much of other issues. So if we are getting up revenue, then we'll now begin to address the issues that where revenue should be applied to. So these are some of the positivities that either the World Bank and the other monetary agencies have been clamoring for, and those ones are here now. So it also showed that there is positivity in the horizon.
Regardless of this, Alesta, there are still concerns about if the Nigerian government will be able to sustain these reforms to continue to maintain these positive economic growth that has been seen now. So if you were to look at it, what are the key risks that could undermine Nigeria's reform efforts and financial health?
Well, they've pointed out a lot of things. First and foremost is the dysfunctionality of governments. And remember, most often than not, we are talking about, when we talk about governance and the economic in Nigeria, we look at the federal government. We leave the state and local government to run riot. Now, these are very, very veritable partners of part of the architecture, the economic architecture, economic and governance architecture. But we don't pay such light on them. Now, they are the weakest link. Now, while the federal government is looking at it at a macro level in kind of this reform, I would expect that states that have large resources, large potential resources, and large influence on certain critical areas, such as food production, health, education, should also be pulling weight in terms of restructuring and reorganizing their own system in order to complement what the federal government is doing. Now, the federal government is like the father figure, but the states are all the components that will make up a proper economic structure. Now, if the federal government is struggling to put policies in place, and the states are just prolificate and do not have direction. Look, I mean, you just see what happened in River State. In your previous news, you talk about in River State. Now, with such discordance, I mean, the functional of governance. Tell me, River State is a very critical state, with, I mean, second to Lagos, very critical, very key to the nation's economic well-being. Now, if we have such squabble, poor governance structure, poor governance architecture, tell me what that state will contribute. Nothing. It will be negative. So every state, every facet of the country needs to be on board with whatever the federal government policies, programs, actions, and inaction of the federal government, so that everybody's on board. Now, the report also mentioned the negativity of the country, talking about inflation. Look, it might get to a point where there will be a social upheaval, and the government might be forced, in order to avert social unrest, to rethink with some of those. Now, even with the removal of fuel subsidy, I can tell you that the government has not taken the full hog, because at this point, with what we are going through, with what a lot of people are going through, if you add 1 more naira to the price of fuel, it might create social upheaval. So the government might still need to be taking up some of the costs, still continue to intervene in the economy. They've not gotten their acts together as to what is the real form of intervention that will be lasting. Right now, everybody's trying one thing or the other. But I think as the day goes by, with even where we are now, with respect to the policies, the initiatives, I think that's why they can adjust our rating positively.
So does that mean that right now Nigerians should not expect anything to happen, most especially for them as an individual, for households, for businesses, to see this particular positive indices or markings or ratings by Moody's translate into what an ordinary man on the street would feel in terms of impact? Because, of course, you talked about inflation, purchasing power has reduced, cost of living has increased, there's a social disparity gap still pre-existing in the country, the poverty rate is still on the high side. So Nigerians should not expect any form of reflective positivity in terms of what happens to them as regards these particular positive ratings. Is that what you mean?
No, I didn't mean that. Nigerians should expect positivity.
How
you
soon?
Should expect all of that. No. You see, it depends on what you are bringing to the table. Now, let me say this. We think economy, it's like where something is kept and everybody go and pick. No. Economic is the activity that you bring in. Look, Nigeria is a very big economy. If you have an activity, if you have a service, a goods or service that you are bringing to the table, yes, you will reap from it. But if you fold your arms and be shouting the common man, and you do nothing, whatever thing you get is a handout. So for you to have sustainable economic growth and development that will touch everybody, then the government policies, you should look into where the policy will affect you positively and key in. Now, today, if the government is investing in agriculture, which they are trying to do that, then you should be able to get back to the land and reap from that investment. Government will, you sit in your house and see government giving you money. Now, government will be fighting inflation, yes. For you to say that people are not benefiting, no. Every policy benefits some people and will not benefit others. That is how policies are. No policy will benefit everybody at the same time. It is for you to look at the policy and see where you can key. The important thing we have in this country is illiteracy. Illiteracy and lack of information has made us to believe wrongly that when you hear economic growth, it will just be something that will just touch you and like a breeze, or like somebody come to your house and they count a bulk money and give it to you. No, that's not how economy works. Economy is a system. You look at what you can bring to the system and reap from the system. Nigeria is a big market. Even the companies that are living, they are not living because they want to live, but they are living because they have challenges. And they are still there, either importing or rather manufacturing. So it's going to be tough. It's tough right now, I agree with you. But if everybody looks through the ladder and see what you can bring to the table, what you can offer, I think you'll gain from it.
Alesta Wilcox, thank you so much for your contribution on the news.
Thanks for having me. It's always my pleasure. Thank you.